Hey traders, my weekend video. I will do my best to keep it as short as possible here. So some main things we got going on here. We did get a two signal downside confirmation to the bearish side for Friday. So basically, we broke our uptrend. We opened at or below that uptrend for the cash session there Friday. So that was our first signal that markets were in trouble. But secondly, here on the 1 hour chart, which is your primary indicator for momentum, we were below our 1 hour cloud also. So you have two confirming signals there Friday that we have a trend, well, maybe not a trend change per se, but the trend is in jeopardy. Okay. And so typically what you see in this situation, and especially if a gap is not too far away, you are going to get a hard test, typically get a hard test, if not fill, of that gap. So be aware of that scenario. I'm just looking to the downside to start the week, thinking that we're at least, in all likelihood, go to get a hard test of the prior gap, and if not, possibly even fill it, or even, well, yeah, you never know. It could even be a lot worse than that. But some things really going on here. Things globally are really going bad here. We got the rivers in Germany and China. They can't get ships up. They're having to shut down plants. Um, you got energy costs. It was 5 times the impact on the a lot of the European people for energy costs, 5 times what they are here versus the States. It's probably even got worse with what's going on. We had a new high there in natural gas prices there Friday. Things are just getting worse over there. And then you had your PPI out of Germany there Friday, far higher than anybody even envisioned. The highest reading ever since they started in the 40s, tracking inflation. So this was, the World War II time frame. This is the highest inflation read that they've had in Germany ever. So and that came out Friday, and that just things were not looking too good to begin with, and that just uh, took it all down with it. Okay, so and then we had the meme stocks just all implode because the Cohen, who had been really pumping the Bed Bath and Beyond and got all these investors on board to Bed Bath Beyond and it actually at one point went up 400% in 3 weeks. He got out all his shares and took the profits. And I don't blame the guy, but he's a young 20-year-old, and he got everybody, on board, and he got out of it. And so Bed Bath and Beyond was down 40 some percent there Friday. So that was a bunch of stuff going on there Friday. Finally caused us to break this uptrend here. Okay. Uh, so, in addition to that, some things I'm looking at here. So, if you look at your NDX, it's still not too bad yet here. Okay, guys. So, some main things here. We do have, we closed below our cloud. So, yeah, that gives you an initial bear signal. Okay, but our primary trend line is down here. This is our regression trend line. Okay, and we did not break that on our Russell. So, in all likelihood, yes, we can come lower here on our not Russell, Nasdaq. Yes, we can come lower on our Nasdaq, which will likely get a bigger impact because of yields and the Fed talking this week. In all likelihood, now we're probably going to get a 3/4 point rate hike coming out, being announced maybe later this week. Uh, especially after what we're hearing out of Germany and stuff. So be aware of that scenario. But yeah, this thing here is likely, but it's not looking quite as bad as the S&P, in my opinion. It just looks like it's got a little bit more room here to fall. So keep that one on watch as well. Talking about that, we'll go over here to Apple, and these are our mega techs. So I do want to keep this on watch here. So some things that I'm looking at here on our mega techs. Apple, we're breaking away from our primary trend, and we crossed below our 1 hour cloud. So not looking too pretty here for our Apple. Okay, guys. and these are your megatechs. So considering that five stocks were responsible for almost all the 2021 gains in the markets, you always got to be quite aware of this scenario. We actually, in after hours here, we're breaking critical support here for the Microsoft. We are below our cloud as well. So a couple. So when I get that dual reading, I'm getting a little bit nervous what's going on in the broader markets. So be aware of that scenario. We'll go over here to Russell real quick. IWM real quick. So another thing, see, this was our accelerated uptrend. We closed below that. Uh, this here has been outperforming everything here lately. So be aware of that. Looks like it's coming back in. We got a gap right here. Looks like a good chance that we are going to be coming back and at the very least testing our regression channel. If not, our primary trend on this is considerably lower. So it has quite a bit of room to come back in if it wants to. Okay, so keep that in mind. Really looks like a very high odds that gap's going to be gone first part of the week, in my opinion. Some other things that happened. XLF got really hit there Friday. Basically had a blow off. Looks like a blow off top scenario here for our financials. We're coming back in. Two big gaps below us here on our financials. Not a great situation to be holding over the weekend. You never want to have the chance of one headline coming in causing you because we don't have any historical inventory taking us up, building us on the way up. It's kind of like building a house on a weak foundation. We're right on. We got a hole in our foundation, and we're sitting right on it, going into an into a weekend. So that's how I like to think of it. Really good odds. We're going to be coming back to the midline, in my opinion, at some point this week. So let's keep an eye on that. Definitely something I want to look at here. Another thing to look at here is your Bitcoin. Now, this is the most speculative area of the markets. Of course, we broke trend. Okay, we broke trend. So really looking ugly here for our Bitcoin. Good chance we're going to be back down to 18,500. So be quite aware this thing got decimated. A lot of bad things that are going on against the Bitcoin. This energy crisis that we got going facing us on a global basis, this is really bad stuff for energy. Okay, we've already had it banned in China because the energy requirements in there, they need that energy to run their country, and they've got a great dam there in the country that gives them virtually 20% of their energy. And because of the drought going on there in Asia and Europe, uh, they cannot run at full capacity. They're having to restrict the water flow. And so that's adding in even more pressure against these energy draining commodities. Would like Bitcoin for crypto mining, it uses a lot of energy. And same thing with Europe. I can see more regulations even coming out of Europe in regards to crypto mining happening here in the next few weeks. So be aware of that scenario. Uh, Everybody thought it was great, this crypto industry, but Bitcoin is one of the one of the worst for using energy. So be aware of that scenario. Everybody was thinking Bitcoin is going to be the new best thing, and crypto may be with us for the rest of our lives, but Bitcoin itself may not. So be aware of that scenario. So another one of the weak areas I did want to talk about here going into this next week here. So we are potentially putting in a different trend here for our XLC. That's our telecommunication ETF from Spiders. And so basically we saw Google and Meta really taking it on the chin there Friday. So keep that in mind. They do are giving us an initial sign of a trend change going into this week. So definitely keep that in watch. We do have NVIDIA reporting this week. So NVDA. And so I do want to float that idea also. Keep this on watch. And if you look at your SMH, okay, uh, my main takeaway here for our SMH, uh, we are still we're below on the 1 hour. We're below our cloud here to start the week, but we are still holding the bottom trend line. If you put a little trend line here, we are still holding with inside of this consolidation range going into that semiconductors. So this is less bad. They're trying to hold us up a little bit better going into the first of the week. So definitely keep that in mind going forward. We do have that big news event happening this week. So, some things to look at here going forward. And then lastly, I do want to talk about Tesla's having the 3-for-1 split this week. So keep that one in mind as well. So we are technically below our cloud and we're below our trend line to close last week. So keep that in mind. I technically, if it was not for the stock split, I would have been telling everybody to go short Tesla for the weekend. And because you do have that big news, big event happening, it's something I try to stay away from going forward in the markets. Okay, 1 second. So one last rundown here. We do have quite a bit of earnings this week. Some really standout ones. You got Zoom. I think Peloton's or no. Let's see, Flex Steel, Macy's, Dick's Sporting's good. JD.com is reporting, so that's one of your Chinese internets. Intuit, Nordstrom's, Toll Brothers, that's one of your home builders reporting. Remember, guys, as yields go up, that means that the housing market is typically one of the areas that gets hit first. So, that's going to be a major read on the economy if we start seeing some weakness in the housing industry. So keep that in mind this week. That's going to be a good signal for the markets. You got Autodesk, you got Salesforce, NVIDIA. So you got some big boys. Peloton. I thought it was Peloton's reporting this week. Dollar General, Dollar Tree, VMware. So keep in mind we do have some really big boys reporting this week. So keep that in mind going forward. You could actually have some really good earnings out of Dollar General, Dollar Tree, as this whole back to school sales probably going to be really benefit these areas of the market, considering how much school supplies have gone up this year. Okay. And to finish my video here, guys, this is my Monsters of Tech chart. It's a conglomeration chart of Apple, Amazon, Tesla, Google, and Microsoft. So basically, there's a guy on Twitter, and his name is TikTok, and he seems to think that these are the names that rule the market. Okay, and so my main takeaway here going into the first of the week, we have not quite yet broken our primary uptrend on the big driving force going into next week. Okay. Let me see here. Let me see if my extended hours are on. Give me 1 second here. There we go. Now I get a better, clearer read of the markets here. So my main takeaway right here. Uh, uh, if you go and draw a channel right here real quick, I'll show you guys how I do this. And just the bottoms there. And then I just come down to the next one down here. So basically, so my main takeaway here, we closed below the 1 hour cloud to finish out the week, and we closed outside of the accelerated lower levels of trend. So that's two bearish signals to me going into the first week on the megatechs. Okay, suggesting to me that we're probably going to open lower here next week for your megatechs like Apple, Microsoft. So there's going to be probably some downside pressure to start the week. So just a few quick takeaways that I'm looking at here. So please like the video if you like it, and please leave comments below if you're seeing something different. And I appreciate everybody tuning into my videos.